Here is some polka dot paper that I've made that I'm going to be sharing. I had a lot of fun making it to use for my niece who's going to be having a little baby girl, and of course I've had 3 teenage sons, and so I never got to enjoy polka dots. If I had a little girl, I can see me putting polka dot papers and material and curtains and things in her room, as well as gingham. So this was a real treat for me to get to work with polka dot. I'm going to teach you how to make these very, very simple and quick to make. So I have my Photoshop elements open, and I'm going to go ahead and just make one of these backgrounds. I'll show you how I did that too in a little bit, but just so we have something to work against. Let's create a new layer, and we're going to make a pattern with this layer. Under the View drop-down menu, choose Grid. And now I have my grid. Let's go look at the preferences. Where are they? Preferences for grid. I have my preferences set up every 1 inch. I prefer to work in inches because that's what I'm familiar with subdivisions of 2. That's just what I prefer to work in. So if you look on here, let's zoom in. These darker colored lines are all 1 inch apart, and the ones in between are all a 1/2 inch mark. So this is a 1/2 inch from here to here, and another 1/2 inch from here to here. So let's zoom out just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and choose a brush. You can choose any circular brush you want. I've chosen the Hard Round 19, and I kind of like my polka dots small, but you can use your bracket keys to make this larger or smaller. The brush size, but I'm going to leave it as is here at 19 pixels. And I'm going to make my dots white, and so I've set my foreground color to white. Now I'm going to, let's go ahead and zoom in. I'm going to look at this 1 inch space here, and I'm going to simply make, and this doesn't have to be specific. You can make your brushes smaller or larger, use a wider area on the grid if you want, but this is just an example to get you started. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of eye it and put a dot, make sure I'm on the correct layer, and put a dot right in the middle of this square. And I'm going to do the same here. It's okay to eye these in the middle, but these next 3 are a little bit more important to get a little bit more accurate. So I'm going to actually zoom in a little bit more. And because I am making this so that half of this dot will meet up with the other dot on the right side, I need to be fairly accurate about this, and I'm going to put this dot, and I am just kind of eyeing it too, so it goes straight down the center and right on, or just a tad bit below that line. Okay, so I have a dot there, and I'm going to do the same for this, and then I'm going to do the same over here. And now it's important to get this about exactly the same as what was on the other side, because what I'm going to do when I make my pattern now, let's go to my selection tool, is I'm going to go ahead and allow this to snap to the grid and draw a selection like so. You can see this is only using 1/2 inch squares. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my background because for this purpose I don't want my background to be a part of my brush. Go to Edit, Define Pattern, and I could name it if I want, but I'll just leave it as that. I apologize, I'm still getting over my cold. I'm going to go ahead and turn that background back on so I can see what I'm doing. You can press Control D to deselect, and let's turn off our layer that we made our pattern with. I'm going to go to the Create Adjustment layer icon, click on it, and go down to Pattern. And you can see it immediately places my pattern on the page. Now I can zoom out. Let's get rid of the grid. It's kind of annoying. And you know, I may like it just like it is, or I can change this slider here. You can see I'm making my dots larger. But what I like to do is to make sure, like right now, you can see over here these dots on this edge, well, can't see it as well zoomed in, are only half a dot, whereas these line up nicely. And these are okay too, but these dots have been cut off. And so I'm going to move my slider until I get something that looks nicer. If you have to, manually go in here and type in sizes. What am I doing? Going down. How about 11, 10? And I'm not going to spend a lot of time with this. Now you can see I got half on the right and half on the left. 01. Well, what is my magic number that I used before? You can see if you use 1, it actually comes up with a nice pattern too, a scale of 1. How about 98? Oh, I'm getting closer. 94. I said I didn't want to spend a lot of time with this, and here I am. Oh well, I would keep playing with it until I got something that I was happy with. And I'm not going to do that right now. Now let me quickly show you how I did the background. I'm going to get my eyedropper out and make my background color the color I want. I'm going to create a new layer, fill it in with that purple. Now I'm going to go to my Filter drop down menu, Texture, Texturizer. It may take a moment to open up, and this is kind of hard for you to see. Let me move it over because it's so large. I'm going to load a texture from this flyout arrow, and I have this texture that I've previously made on my desktop. Texture 19, and I'm going to load it. Let me move this back over a little bit. You can't see the preview very well. Let me back out on this. And then I'm going to just move the sliders until I see a texture that I like. Now, moving the relief over very far, you can see it's going to give some really hard texture, which might be cool for some purposes, but since I was going for a little girl layout, I wanted something softer. And I've moved the scale for my particular pattern all the way over to 199. And then when you find something you like, click OK, and it applies the texture. And there it is. And then I can put my polka dots back on and do a file, save as, and save it as a JPEG. I'm going to cancel that. We won't go through. And then there you have a nice polka dot paper. And if you want, you can actually go in then and if I wanted to, let's say, change my polka dot colors all to a yellow. Let's find a nice yellow. Now I'm going to hold down my control key, click on this thumbnail in the layers palette. Well, that's not working. Let's right click, simplify the layer, and now I'm going to hold down my control key and click, and now you can see it has selected each and every one of those dots. I can get my paint bucket and oops, I filled them all in with purple. What happened to the yellow I got? And that's not very yellow. I can't get a good yellow. There's a good yellow. Now I'm going to fill them all in. And now I have, I'm going to control D to deselect, I have yellow polka dots. If I wanted to, be a lot harder to do, but you could do it. It might be time consuming, would be less time consuming with larger dots, but I could go in, change them all. Let's go up here and choose contiguous. There, and I could go in and just randomly color certain dots if I wanted to. Now you can see that this isn't working really well because it's leaving a white circle around these dots. I'm not quite sure what to do to get rid of that. Let's try lowering the tolerance down and see what happens to a dot. I think that it happened when we were doing the last selection. You can see there. Let me try this. You're learning along with me. I'm going to take that contiguous off, and I've lowered the tolerance all the way down to 3, and that colors in much better all the way around. And now if I wanted to go back and click contiguous and go back and get that yellow. Okay, well, so that's not working. Now I got orange circles around my yellow. Well, maybe you would do that on purpose. I'm not quite sure why that is not filling in well as when I did the selection. If you wanted to purposefully put some yellow all around each one of those, I can also hold down my control key, click on the thumbnail, go up to Edit, Stroke. We want it on the outside. We want it really small, maybe 2, maybe. I'm guessing. I don't know what I'm going to get here. Let's see what we got. Here we go. I put little yellow circles around each dot. And that's kind of cute. And so you can get creative with this. Use your imagination, which is what I've been doing here. Just play. Just play, see what happens, see what you get. Remember, there's always Control U, bring up your sliders, move things around until something goes, wow, I like that. Let's see. That one is kind of cute. Or to go darker, how about some black dots on purple? Just use your imagination, play until you get something you like, and put that on your page. Let me show you something else real quick. If I have a shape such as a heart, I'm going to commit that layer. I can hold down the Control key to get a selection of that heart, and then I'm going to go up to my pattern, and it fills in only the selection, and now I've just put polka dots on my heart. If I wanted to double click on this, oops, and scale it to change the hearts within the, or the dots within the heart, I could also do that. And so I encourage you to go ahead and practice, make some polka dot papers and upload them somewhere and share them with us, because learning together, tell us what you did in playing, learning together, show me what you've learned, you may teach me something, is a lot of fun.